CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rimo with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin tonight once again this evening with the roads. Highway 69 was closed in Point O'Barrel in both directions in what appeared to have been a serious crash. The closure lasted a couple of hours and involved a pickup truck and transport truck. No word yet on injuries or any other details. Traffic had to be alternated for a little while. It happened just north of Highway 529. OPP are still said to be investigating. New tonight, Sudbury police are looking into an incident at a popular trail system earlier this week. They had received reports of a suspicious male hiding in the bushes at Mallard's Landing who was jumping out and yelling at passers-by, scaring children. The report came from a school board as several students frequent the trail. They have identified the man involved and they are continuing to monitor the area as the investigation continues. Meantime, there was a groundbreaking in northwestern Ontario for the Ring of Fire. Premier Doug Ford visiting Webequie today to kick off construction on a 107-kilometer supply road. It's part of a $40 million deal between the province and the First Nation that includes an airport terminal rebuild, construction equipment to build the road, and a new community center and arena. The road is expected to be complete by 2030. Martin Falls First Nation is also seeing development with road construction there expected to start this August. Months after spring flooding ravaged the Northeast, one Greater Sudbury family is still picking up the pieces, saying multiple levels of government have failed to help local homeowners recover. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
It's been 2 months since Simon Lake flooded Rob Pappin's home of 26 years. While the water has receded, the recovery has barely begun.
I would like my normal back, and this is not normal.
Like many residents, Pappin didn't have overland flooding insurance, leaving him with few options other than government support. Pappin says he feels let down by the municipality and the province.
From the province, I want them to activate this area for the Disaster Relief Assistance for Ontarians program. That's number one, because that makes a bunch of money available to us to be able to help us recover. As far as the city goes, I would just have liked, it's a little bit late, but it would have been nice if they had offered a little bit more assistance to people in the remote areas and the outlying areas.
The city of Greater Sudbury says it offered a waste removal program so uninsured residents could bring materials to the landfill for free. But Pappin says that didn't work for them because they had to haul debris from Naughton to the main dump in Sudbury. The city says they've done what they can at the municipal level and are now waiting for the province to step in.
This was the best program we felt we could offer for those in particular who weren't insured and are really bearing the cost of this, and then again advocating strongly and contributing all the information that the province needs to open up their program as well.
But so far there is no exact timeline on when that could happen. In a statement to CTV News, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing said a team was deployed on May 25th to the 26th to assess the damage, saying in part, the province is finalizing an assessment of the flooding. Once finalized, the Disaster Recovery Assistance Program may be activated in areas where there is costly and widespread damage. Meantime, Pappin's family and friends have stepped up to offer support. His in-laws are here from the United States and are helping rebuild.
Family is important, and we should support each other, regardless what's happening.
When you're not in your home, you feel quite displaced and you feel like you need to get back. So that's what we're trying to do.
Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
The International Test Pilot School will begin training exercises at the Jack Garland Airport in North Bay next month with 80 pilots from Ukraine. This comes after the school announced its relocation earlier this year. Court documents show the move north was prompted by a dispute between the training school and Transport Canada. The government agency ordered them to stop combat training after a near miss in November 2025 at the airport in London. You can read more on this story by going to CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. Some sobering new numbers today about wait times in Canadian emergency departments. A report from the Canadian Institute for Health Information found that 1 in 10 Canadians who visited an ER, that's more than 1.5 million patients, had an experience that lasted over 14 hours. Of those who were admitted, 10%, or roughly 180,000 people, spent more than 48 hours in the emergency department waiting for an inpatient bed. Sudbury's Health Sciences North sees roughly 75,000 patients in its emergency department it every year. The hospital providing a statement today saying in part, quote, over the past year, we reduced our 90th percentile time to inpatient bed from 43 hours to 32 hours for patients requiring admission, while also improving wait times for many patients who receive treatment and are discharged home. The Canadian Institute of Health Information says there are several factors leading to those numbers.
Some of that's due to people with more chronic illnesses like diabetes or high blood pressure. And we also know that some patients really struggle to find a family doctor or a nurse practitioner. Or if they have one, sometimes they struggle to find a timely appointment. So they think that, the emergency department is really their only choice.
The report found that limited availability of acute care combined with challenges accessing home care and long-term care are contributing to overcrowding in emergency departments. Staffing challenges and recruitment remain hot topics within the ranks of the Timmins Police Service. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
At a Timmins Police Services board meeting, Deputy Chief Darren Donnell said 2 special constables have recently resigned, one after returning from retirement to serve for another year, and another who has decided to pursue other opportunities.
We actually have 3 other special constables that are undergoing their training now. They should be completing their initial training and going into the workforce and doing the jobs that are expected. So 3 of them should be completing that anytime soon.
Donnell said the service's records and dispatch departments are fully staffed, but recruiting sworn officers continues to be the biggest hurdle. The service is authorized for 96 officers, but currently has about 81, with approximately 10 on leave. Police are also looking at additional ways to attract officers to Timmins, including recruitment campaigns and existing referral incentives. Donnell also addressed growing concerns about off-road vehicles being driven on city streets.
It's against the law. It's been broadcast out there in the media. People have been pulled over, stopped, and given the necessary offense notices for these things. Plain and simple, it's not allowed, and our officers are going to go out there to conduct the enforcement that's required.
Donnell warns offenders could face fines, license suspensions, or even vehicle impoundments. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
This Saturday is National Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Day, a day to raise awareness and reduce stigma. In Sudbury, there will be a walk involving first responders and veterans, and everyone is welcome to take part. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
Sergeant Cameron Kidder is the lead coordinator for the Greater Sudbury Police for the PTSD walk this year. The service says the disorder affects first responders at twice the rate of any other profession.
Calls that you're dealing with, the reports that you're reviewing, the people that you're dealing with. Sometimes there's quite traumatic occurrences, and they're very sad occurrences at times too. They're life-shattering for members of the community that are involved with those incidents directly, and you don't know the toll that it takes.
Veterans will take part in the walk, many who are members of the Veterans Peer Support Network.
It's nice to know you can have comfort. You're in a non-judgmental atmosphere where you can open up and talk to people that they're not going to judge you. They're going to be supportive.
Organizers of the walk say there is not an official theme, but it's about togetherness and opening up dialogue about PTSD, because issues related to it can feel isolating.
And when you're in isolation, bad things generally happen. So I think the important thing is breaking down the stigma, breaking down those barriers, taking the time to let people know how you're feeling and what you're dealing with.
There's a trigger or something that's causing bad memories to come forward. We're seeing a lot of people, they close the blinds, lock the doors, and live in the dark.
Members of the public can take part in the walk for a registration fee of $10, supporting Wounded Warriors Canada and their mental health programs for trauma-exposed professionals and families. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
A brand new roundabout is coming to Trout Lake Road and Laurentian Avenue in North Bay. CTV's Eric Tashner has more on the massive reconstruction project about to get underway in the city.
This section of Trout Lake Road is about to get a makeover, and drivers say it's about time.
Well, the potholes are well overdue to be fixed.
It's been a disaster with those wheel ruts. And it's hard driving, and I have a very big, quite sized vehicle.
But there are still concerns about how the upcoming reconstruction and revitalization project will impact traffic on the street.
More problems than what they're looking at right now, especially with all the transports coming from, up 63 highway and that.
Approved by council last month, the nearly $6 million road project includes roadway reconstruction, a multi-use path, concrete sidewalk, and a roundabout which will replace the lights at the Laurentian Avenue and Trout Lake Road intersection. It's the first phase of fixing up the busy street.
It's been on the books for a while, but last maybe 5 years or something, we've been making applications to MTO for the funding, and last year we got the funding.
The city says initial work starting Monday will focus on preparing the site. Then a week later, traffic measure controls will be in place with the street reduced to one lane in each direction.
Congestion, coming from the mall, coming from here. I know, it's just going to be a mess.
I'm looking forward to this project. I'm just a little worried about getting out. Apparently they're going to take us to Bank Street. Might be very congested.
Access into the mall will remain open. Once this section of Trout Lake Road is done, the city will move into the second phase of the street reconstruction.
It'll be a brand new Trout Lake Road all the way from the highway to Drew, and that Drew is where the overpass is there, and it's pretty good. We did that a few years ago.
The city says work is expected to be complete by the end of this year's construction season. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Tony, we'll have our full weather forecast. For now, look at the current conditions, and it is still a little bit on the warm side. That's pretty average for us for this time of year. 17 in Kapuskasing, but seeing some storm activity in and around that region. 16 in Timmins Shores, 16 down on Manitoulin Island, 14 in Elliott Lake with some light shower activity. Light showers in Sudbury as well. We'll have details after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Good evening, everyone. Now your main weather on our forecast radar. Well, some areas are starting to see some clouds along with shower activity in through Sault Ste. Marie, especially north in through Wawa. Looks pretty clear overnight into Friday. You're starting to see a little bit more cloud covers, some shower activity, also risk of thunderstorms. Early Saturday morning, look at that beautiful clear skies as the sun rises, and then we start to see increasing cloud cover, a chance of shower activity, and then after that, things aren't going to be all that bad. Let's take a look at your weather forecast, starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Tomorrow, well, sun, cloud, and shower activity. Also risk of a thunderstorm or two, coming in at 24 degrees, spot on temperature-wise. On Saturday, the wet weather continues. Sunday looks beautiful at this point, 27. Temperature starts to improve a little bit on Monday, but not so much the weather conditions. Starting to cloud over, risk of thunderstorms, and the rain's going to spill over until Thursday. Check out that daytime high, 32 degrees. Moving on to Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma. Tomorrow, well, 30% chance of rain and 23 when it should be 22. And then this temperature starts to go up. Look at Sunday, 25, beautiful day in stores. On Monday, you're starting to see a risk of thunderstorms and the wet weather continues. Wednesday, we start to get some clearing, 30 degrees as a daytime high. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud. As we head on over now to Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, a risk of thunderstorms tomorrow. Temperature improves. Sunday looks beautiful at this point. Monday it starts to become a little bit more overcast, a risk of thunderstorms on Tuesday, Wednesday, 31 degrees as a daytime high. For Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, a risk of thunderstorms tomorrow, 24, spot on temperature-wise, and then the temperature starts to rise. Sunday looks beautiful. After that, Monday next week, unsettled conditions, risk of thunderstorms. And Wednesday, Thursday, 31 degrees as a daytime high. And finally, your 7-day weather forecast for North Bay, West Nipissing. Tomorrow, sun, cloud, showers, and a risk of thunderstorms. Temperature 23 when it should be 24, but we're going to surpass that, especially Sunday. Look at that, 27 degrees, and it gets even warmer on Wednesday and Thursday. Ian Campbell, it's back over to you.
Thanks, Tony. There are concerns tonight about drug shortages that are leaving patients and pharmacists scrambling. Now, one pharmacist is calling for action from both the provincial and federal governments to help fix the issue. CTV's Siobhan Morris has that story.
2 drops in the morning.
Kirsten Campbell was thrown for a loop last week when she tried to refill a prescription for eye drops.
No, can't be 2.
anger, and then I was in a bit of a panic.
She's been using Combigan for years to treat glaucoma. She'd never had an issue before.
Is this going to be not my fault? I'm going to end up having to have surgery? Or worse, like the pressure builds up and something worse could happen.
She did eventually get set up with an alternative, but her eye drops, one of the drugs a bunch of pharmacists have struggled to get their hands on. Same with hydromorphone, commonly prescribed after surgery.
A heartburn medication called Tecta, or it's generic, pantoprazole magnesium, that's been on back order for over a month.
The reason for the holdup is different drug to drug. Issues at the manufacturing level, a spike in demand. Massey says that causes a lot of frustration on both sides of the pharmacy counter.
We end up having to try to find alternatives that we recommend to physicians, and then physicians end up wasting a lot of time reading through multiple communications.
It's adding unnecessary time to a very simple process.
Dr. Alan Grill explains back orders also create scheduling complications for patients and may slow down getting the support they need.
You really should be speaking to the patient to let them know what's happening. So in some cases, your community pharmacist will do that. But in other cases, the patient will then potentially book a second appointment to find out why you changed your mind on the medication.
It helps when pharmacists recommend an alternative they do have in stock. Massey wants to eliminate that step.
Pharmacists should be allowed to switch medications when on back order to a drug in the same class that's equally efficacious with a similar side effect profile.
He's pleading for better communication from Health Canada about shortages and what's being done to mitigate them.
We just wake up in the morning and we find that a drug is not available. And I think that that's not acceptable.
Millions of Canadians use medical needles daily for a variety of treatments, but not all are disposing of them properly, posing a major risk for workers in recycling and garbage collection. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
Last year in Northern Ontario, over 27,000 kilograms of used needles were returned to pharmacies, but not all made it there safely.
Our audit data confirms that used medical sharps are showing up in blue boxes. Sharps were found in 0.4% of blue box samples in Ontario. And while that number might seem small, any presence of sharps in the recycling stream creates a real direct risk of injury and hazardous material exposure for our workers.
Currently, we have about 316 households on a list that we're managing because they show up on a frequent basis. So we do see them there. We see them come in at the recycling center, and they end up on the sorting lines, and they come into the landfill sites.
In Sudbury alone, there are around 50 pharmacies that accept used needles, according to the Health Product Stewardship Association. However, the city also has a toxic taxi and household hazardous waste depot.
The nice thing about doing this is that you don't have any pokey things in the garbage where anyone is going to get hurt. Because if you have a needle stick injury, you never know where that needle has been, and now you're at risk of all kinds of problems. HIV and hepatitis being the most impactful sort of ones.
Residents can pick up sharp containers of varying sizes from participating pharmacies, and many sharp containers have a QR code showing the closest available drop-off location.
It comes down to, is this something that can be avoided? And from our perspective, it is. Is there a accessible system where people can get these medical sharps recycled? There is. They can take them back to their pharmacy. And so this really is something where we see that it's really about education more than anything.
While medical needles have been around for years for diabetes, cancer treatments, and more, drugs like Ozempic are expected to increase the use and disposal of single-use needles. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Upgrades to Sault Ste. Marie Park have improved the city's mountain biking infrastructure and brought in new play structures just in time for summer. $900,000 from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation covers half of the project costs for the Wishart Park renovations. The city's tourism department is covering the remaining half with money brought in through hotel stays, using no local tax dollars for the work. The project has three main components: a new bridge, playground, and connector trails to Hiawatha and the Hub Trail.
I think there's a truth in, if you build it, people will come. And I think here, and especially having been to the park to see the work that's doing there, to see the connections that are going to be happening on the mountain biking piece, I think it's just a very good investment, not just for the people that live in this community, but the people that are going to come to this community to enjoy it, but also the people that are going to be coming to this community to stay here.
We have a dedicated mountain biking
cohort of folks in the community. They are best ambassadors for outside of the community, and they time and time again say this trail network compares to the best in the country, and that's why improving it is something that is only going to bolster our position.
A 3.5 kilometer connector trail is now open for use, with another 1 kilometer stretch to connect to 4th Line expected to finish in mid-July. And Sudbury's Pride Crosswalk is back in downtown Sudbury in time for Pride Month and the city's Pride celebrations. Mayor Paul LaFive taking this image on his Facebook earlier today, putting the finishing touches on Minto Street earlier today. In his message to the community, LaFive writes, "It's also our shared responsibility to foster a community where everyone feels respected, valued, safe, and free to be themselves. While we've made important progress, the work of building a more inclusive and equitable community continues." Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Sunnier weather means more outdoor markets this season, and Sudbury's now in full swing. More on that in a moment. It's a sure sign of summer in Northern Ontario. The outdoor farmers market opened today in Sudbury despite the gloomy weather. CTV's Angela Campbell has more.
Rain didn't stop customers from checking out vendors on opening day of the outdoor market in Sudbury.
There's a different feel to the market if it's outdoors. You've got the wind in your hair, the rain, the sun. It's a whole different feel.
This second location is only open Thursday afternoons during the summer, while the year-round market is held indoors every Saturday at the Elm Place Mall downtown. Vendors like the Ugly Barn Farm set up at both sites.
We're here for only 4 or 5 hours, but the truth of the matter is we work all week to make this happen. And so this is a fraction of time that we're here selling, but the reality is it's like 40 hours of work that goes into it.
8 vendors were set up for opening day, but that's expected to grow throughout the summer. The appeal for this location is the outdoor feel, even if it is raining.
We've got lots of farmers, lots of food here outside at this market. Everybody has a tent, so if you bring an umbrella, you'll be safe. I promise you won't melt.
Well, most vendors have tent coverings.
Got to make the best of whatever the situation is that comes when you're in business and you're an entrepreneur. And I think I'm going to sell a lot more pop here, even with this sad setup that I'm going to at home.
You're going for the pity sale.
I'm not going for the pity sale. My drinks speak for themselves. They got a good flavor.
The biggest appeal for the market is supporting local farmers and businesses.
It's fun. You can come here, you can get lunch, you can go to the Bell Park, go for a swim, come back, get your veggies, your fruit, and go home and have some healthy meals. So it's nice and convenient, and we have a beautiful scenery when the sun's shining.
Lang says this is a rain or shine market. The only weather that will close them down are heavy winds and lightning. Angela Campbell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Canadians could be celebrating more than just our national holiday next week. Team Canada is set to play South Africa Sunday in Los Angeles. This will be Canada's first ever elimination round game. You can cheer on the boys right here on CTV, TSN, and Crave starting at 3 p.m. Tomorrow, however, it will be Senegal versus Iraq finishing off group play. That game will be live at 3 p.m. here on CTV. That means our 5 o'clock broadcast will be preempted, but you can still tune in for CTV News at 6 right after the game for all your local news. A special project from students to seniors in Sudbury. Students from RL Beatty Public School and Llewellyn Park Secondary School worked together to craft custom benches for extended care countryside. The initiative began from a Community Connect learning project that paired kindergarten students with residents of the local seniors complex, linking classroom learning with meaningful community engagement. Very cute. Creative individuals in Sault Ste. Marie now have a space that supports their growth and celebrates their work. The Sioux Film Fest is opening a new cinema and event space to host film screenings, networking events, socials, and fundraisers. The festival board has begun booking the space for the summer and plans to show it off at an open house event tomorrow evening at 7. The first event is the Film Festival Summer Camp, which added a second week to deal with a high demand.
We've been working with a lot of great folks in the community over the years in theater and in art world and in film, and we just kind of want to expand on that and give folks the opportunity to use the space as well for their different projects if they need it, or open pop-up shops or screen movies, or bring things to the Sioux that we might not be able to have, for example.
Festival organizers say the local industry is growing and this new space can only help it on that path. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Thursday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. We're also on YouTube now. Check it out under CTV. And once you're there, don't forget to click subscribe to our local feed. Thanks for watching. Marina Moore will return with your next News for the North tomorrow after that soccer game. Until then, good night.